So hi and welcome to the video. So today I'm basically going to be doing a review of this wax here, and this is called R222 in I think Europe, and then I think over in the US it's called P21S. It's actually the same product and it looks pretty much the same. You see it's a white sort of tub and the blue label. So basically I'm just going to be doing a review of this. So this is a product that I've had for around a couple of years now, and it's one of my favourite waxes, and I kind of just wanted to talk about why that's the case and why you might want to get it, and sort of some pros and cons of it, because it's not perfect, but if you are interested in purchasing this wax, then hopefully you'll find this video quite helpful. So I think one of the main reasons why people actually purchase this wax in particular is because of the finish that it leaves. So really it's really kind of marketed as a wax that's really kind of for show cars and things like that, but obviously you can use it, you know, for any car. It's not that expensive. I think mine was around £35 to pick up, so pretty standard, slightly on the more expensive end, but still a pretty average kind of cost for a wax. I know a lot of waxes out there, you can, if you really want a proper show wax, you can get up to hundreds and hundreds of pounds, but this is still very much an affordable wax that you can just get for your sort of daily driver. But really sort of this is marketed as a wax that's really sort of about aesthetics and making your car look as shiny as possible. So really I think with that, I don't want people to get misled too much thinking that, you know, you can put this wax on any car and it's just going to instantly look super shiny. Unless you've sort of done a little bit more research, you probably won't know, but basically the actual condition of your paint is really, really important when it comes to how shiny the car looks. So if you've got things like swirl marks and scratches, you might even not be able to see them in normal lighting, but you'll see them in sort of direct sunlight. Those will actually cause the paintwork to look dull in all kinds of lighting, really. So it's really kind of getting that clear coat as flat as possible by polishing and compounding that's going to actually make the car look shinier. Putting a wax over the top does kind of help to fill those imperfections, and you've got the oils and things like that that can really sort of add a little bit of gloss, but they don't work miracles. So I would still recommend this if you're looking for a wax that's going to kind of give you that boost of gloss and make the car look shinier, but just don't expect it to kind of completely transform how your car looks. It'll just give it that sort of extra couple of percent, really. If you really want shiny paint, then I'll basically leave a video in the description that's basically going to talk about how much waxes actually do to make your car look shiny. Having said that, I think if you are looking for a good finish, then this is a good wax to go for. It doesn't leave any kind of ghosting, which is sort of that kind of white grey sort of patches. You can see it leaves a really, really good finish, and it does add some gloss. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, because it definitely does. So there is some level of gloss there. So if you're looking for that, then this is definitely a good wax to go for. I think that, you know, obviously they don't work miracles, but it's kind of quite an oily, so I think it's got beeswax and Carnauba wax in it. It does definitely add that sort of shiny effect. It is a good wax if you're looking for the sort of finish. The second thing I really look for in a wax is how hydrophobic the layer it leaves on the surfaces. Now this is probably one of the biggest deals to me when I'm looking at getting a new wax, and that's just because living in the UK, it rains constantly, and if I want my car to be clean, then having a wax that sort of beads and sheets water off quite quickly is really important, because it just basically stops sort of muddy water sticking to the car or rainwater and things like that, and it just generally makes the car look better sort of between washes. So that's something that I look for. Now with this product in particular, because it's a natural wax, it tends to have very, very good sort of hydrophobicity on application, but it will wear away over time. So I'll talk about the durability in a second, but generally when you put the wax straight on and then maybe do some kind of test to see how much it sort of sheets and beads water, the results are really, really good. And I've used the Fuso coat, the one here, and that's sort of more of a sealant type. It's not a natural wax, but that's really known for how hydrophobic it is, and on application it's the same as that. It really, really does completely sheet water off a surface. If you run a tap over really low pressure, then you'll see that there's basically nothing left. Just the water will completely like disappear. So definitely on application it's good. So I can't really fault it there, but now sort of moving on to how durable the wax is. So obviously being a natural wax, it's going to be a lot less durable than something like a ceramic coating or a sealant. And that just kind of comes with the nature of waxes, with being sort of natural, and they're not really designed to last as long. Sort of add like sort of boost and gloss and protection, but they're not going to last forever. They're not going to last for sort of 6 months, a year. But for most waxes I've tried, I normally get around sort of 1 to 2 months before I really sort of see that sort of water repellency just die completely. And when I see that, even though there might still be some wax on the surface, there might still be some protection, that's sort of when I would apply another wax, because I just really need the car to be like really hydrophobic. So again, it keeps it sort of cleaner and I don't get water spots and things like that. So with this wax, it is not a durable wax. If you are looking for something to put on your paint that's going to last for months, it's not going to be the one for you. It's really sort of that one that's kind of just going to boost the gloss and just give that kind of extra pop to the paintwork, really make it just sort of look a little bit better, add a bit more protection. Maybe you could use it to top up another wax, because it does, obviously being a wax, not a sealant, it can layer really well, so you can just stick it over the top of another sealant if you're looking for that. But generally I want to apply a new layer of this every sort of 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks really, maybe a month at a complete push, before I think the durability of this just really dies. You could probably get a little bit longer and there will be something left on the surface, but just for me, the sort of hydrophobics just really sort of kind of really get reduced after that, particularly if you're washing it weekly as well. So generally for me, I will apply this wax sort of after maybe every 2 to 3, maybe 4 washes, before I think that it basically needs applying again. So if you are looking for a really durable wax and this isn't going to be the one for you, it just doesn't really sort of deliver that. Final thing I wanted to talk about really was how easy it actually is to apply. So it's actually one of the easiest waxes I've used to apply, and it's going to take sort of 5 to 10 minutes to do the entire car, because you can basically apply it all over and then buff it off, or what you can do, what they actually recommend to do, and that is apply it and then buff it straight off. So don't even let it cure, just buff it off when it's still quite oily, and that's where you kind of get the sort of best gloss maybe from that, but you'll get a little bit less durability. So it's a bit of a trade-off there, whether you want to kind of let it dry and cure and then just buff it off. But what I've really found is that it's super easy to apply. So it goes on a really thin layer. I use a foam applicator to apply it, and it goes on really thin and spreads really evenly, and you basically need absolutely none of the product. So just sort of a half turn in the actual in the tub with the applicator, and you'll basically be able to cover like half a hood or an entire door before you need to kind of get any more wax on the applicator. So if you're looking for wax that's going to last a long time, then this is a good one, because you basically, I'm probably never going to actually get through this tub, so it is good in that respect. But basically it goes on really easily, and it buffs off just as easily. So I've found it, particularly with that wax there, it's a bit of a nightmare to buff off, and if you let it cure for sort of more than a few minutes, it's going to be a nightmare to get off. But this one isn't like that. I've left it on for sort of 10-15 minutes, come back to the sort of first panel that I've done, and it's, you know, it's completely fine. It buffs off really easily. It doesn't sort of dust up as well, which I find that a lot of waxes, even if they buff off easily, they'll sort of cause a lot of dust, and that is a big problem, I think personally, because obviously if you're rubbing kind of dust into the paintwork, then you're potentially risking sort of scratches and swirl marks. That's something you really don't want to be doing when you're applying a wax. It's just not necessary. So picking up a wax like this, then you're not going to have those issues. So generally in terms of application, it's probably as good as it gets really. It's very easy, very quick. The only thing that I would potentially fault about this is the actual applicator that it comes with. So I'll show you here. So it's pretty good quality. It's not a bad foam applicator, it's soft. I know some foam applicators that come really aren't soft at all, and you don't really want to use them on your paint because they're just going to potentially even scratch themselves. But basically this one is very soft. It's a good quality foam applicator. I just wish it was slightly bigger. It will take slightly longer to do the car if you're using that foam applicator. If you're using one maybe that you've purchased separately, I know they're just like a few pounds to get, so you can just go ahead and get your own applicator if you want to. Potentially one with a handle as well. I find those a little bit easier to work with. So, but I'm really sort of getting a bit nitpicky there. Obviously I'm really kind of reviewing the wax, and the applicator's fine, you know, you're not going to have any issues with it. But if you want to make things slightly easier, then think about getting a slightly larger applicator, make it a bit faster, and also one with a handle just to make it a little bit easier to actually apply. But generally what I'd say about this wax is very good. It's one of those where I understand why they market it as a kind of a show wax, and I definitely think that they're right in doing that. The durability is low. The hydrophobics aren't amazing sort of after it's been applied. On application they're really good, but after it's sort of been washed maybe once or twice, the hydrophobics really tend to go. But generally in terms of how it looks and how it applies, then it's one of the best waxes I personally think you can get. So if you are sort of interested in that, then I'll leave a link in the description for where you can go and pick it up off Amazon. It'll sort of direct you to wherever you are. So if you're in the UK or the US, it'll direct you to a shop in your region. If you also as well really kind of want to get the most out of the finish, if you do really want to boost the gloss on the paintwork, then you can also use this product here. So this is a paintwork cleanser. So it's hard to explain a little bit, but it's basically, it's going to add some fillers, so it works a little bit like a glaze in terms of it'll fill sort of minor imperfections, scratches and swirls and things like that. So it'll boost the gloss in that way. But it also generally kind of cleans up the paintwork a little bit. It's not going to be as good as something like a clay bar, and you're not going to get a full decontamination from using one. But if you're just looking to sort of tidy the paintwork up a little bit and you don't want to use clay to decontaminate it, you don't want to cause scratches and swirls doing that, then actually applying that and then putting that wax over the top is what I did, and I got really, really good results from that. The car looked so shiny afterwards, and definitely I think can help slightly with the durability of it. Obviously they're both compatible products, so it'd help really than applying a different glaze underneath. You're probably going to get better results with that one. So I'll leave a link in the description to that as well, and I'll leave another link to a video that I've made on paintwork cleansers, and that's where I sort of really talk about this product in a little bit more detail. So check that out if you're not really sure what I'm talking about here. But if you have enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to hit the like button, comment down below if you've got any more questions about the product, and subscribe, as I am making videos like this twice a week, talking about different detailing products, techniques, sort of full car transformations and things like that. So hit the subscribe button if you are interested in that kind of thing. But until then, I'll see you next time.